curious why you don't think disowning a child for being gay is homophobic.
What I do with my children is up to me. What I do with my children is up to me.
Of course. Okay? Of course.
I don't agree with you going to Epstein's Island and having freak-offs with Ghislaine Maxwell and the rest of them. But I don't need to bring it up because this is about misogyny and everything like this.
Harrison,
okay?
Harrison.
Okay, I don't agree with that,
just
sir.
To be clear, just to be clear.
Freak-offs on the island.
Yes, nor do I. And as is a
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Do you want to keep doing this? You'll make yourself look very stupid.
Are you sure, Piers?
That I've never been to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I'm 100% positive. I never met the man, never went to his island. I met Ghislaine Maxwell for 5 minutes at a book launch. If you've got any supplementary
mentioned a lot of times.
No
mentioned
problem.
a lot of times in there, sir.
I have no problem. You're not, I don't think, if I say this very respectfully, I don't think you're very well informed about things like that, or you wouldn't go there because it's.
Why are you in the files?
Why don't you check the 27 references to me in the files?
Why are you in the files, sir? Very close to these types of people.
Go and check. And all your followers, you can. The great thing about the Epstein files, you can put somebody's name in, and you can
like to compare me to Tate and Myron and everyone else. So
Harrison,
because my name is close to them in the manosphere. But if I compare you to Epstein and Maxwell, you have a clear problem with it.
No problem.
Sir, you compare me to Myron and all the others in this homophobic, misogynistic, whatever world. I'm comparing you to Epstein then because you're in his files.
Harrison.
Exactly.
You're making yourself look an even bigger idiot than you did on the Netflix show.
Oh, really? Really? Yes. To people like you, sir, I don't mind that. You make yourself look like an idiot every single day when your wife is at home posting pictures that you're out and she wants to get used like a toy by a big black man who is cleaning her car. Is that why you have a problem with me? Is that why you're pushing this homophobic narrative? Because I'm the big black man that shagged your wife while you are on holiday. Okay? We can all have a push and a shove, sir. Let's go back to talking about the documentary and less of the homophobia.
Do you know what? Here's what I think about you. I watched the documentary. I think you're a fucking idiot. I think you're a sexist, misogynist, homophobic twerp who got exposed in a global way by Netflix, by Louis Theroux, for what you are. You're a little half-wit, and you'll make your little followers
don't get rattled.
A little laugh and everything
rattled.
else. But I don't see any point wasting. There's no point me wasting my time talking to you. Is there? What's the point?
Exactly. No. Do you know what? Let's chill it down then, because what I just said. There's 50 more things that we can have a stupid back and forth and try and one up each other.
I don't
just
care
talk
about
to me
your silly
normally.
Insults.
Talk to me normally.
Talk to me normally. I don't care about your silly insults.
But what do you mean you don't care? What do you mean you don't care? What I said is fact. I have a picture of it. I can flip it around and show you right now.
I couldn't care less about your silly little insults. It's like a 2-year-old. Why would I care?
A 2-year-old? A 2-year-old? Listen, sir, I don't know why you come on and you talk like you're holier than thou. As soon as you're away,
all right, let's
who's this? Applications are open.
All right, let's just
that's your ting, bro. That's your girl.
Let's end this.
Cooked.
You know what? I'm not doing this. Sorry, guys. It's pointless.
Let's start with something simple. If you spend a decade building a career of pointing fingers, don't act stunned when a finger finally points back at you. That's exactly what happened when Piers Morgan sat across from Harrison Sullivan and got a dose of his own medicine. Live, on camera, no edit, no do-over. And within seconds of the conversation turning uncomfortable for him, Morgan didn't sit there and take it the way he's demanded everyone else take it for years. He got up, he walked. Interview over. Before we go any further, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we call things exactly how we see them. And today we're breaking down every layer of this moment, what it says about Piers Morgan, and why it lines up perfectly with something squaddies have been saying for years. The man built an entire brand on double standards, and the bill finally came due. Here's the thing people need to understand before we even get to the walk-off. This didn't come out of nowhere. This was years of receipts finally catching up to one man. For the better part of a decade, Piers Morgan has treated Meghan's name like a punchline he could return to whenever ratings needed a boost. Not once, not twice, over and over on morning television, in newspaper columns, on talk shows, in interviews. Meghan's tone, Meghan's walk, Meghan's facial expressions, Meghan's charity work, Meghan's marriage, all of it, endlessly picked apart by a man who has never had to answer for the way he speaks about people. That's not commentary, that's a routine. And routines only work as long as nobody flips the script. So when Harrison Sullivan sat across from him and did exactly what Morgan has done to other people for years, asked pointed questions, brought up uncomfortable subjects, refused to let him steer the conversation somewhere more comfortable, the reaction told you everything. Because the second the questions turned personal, the second his own history came into play, Morgan didn't want to play anymore. Let's talk about what actually happened in that exchange, because it's honestly one of the clearest examples of hypocrisy we've seen in a long time. Sullivan didn't do anything Morgan hasn't done to 100 other guests. He asked hard questions. He brought up things Morgan clearly didn't want brought up, including his personal life and his past association with Jeffrey Epstein, a subject Morgan has spent years trying to keep out of the conversation whenever it's aimed at him. And the moment that subject came up, Morgan's tone changed instantly. Suddenly, it wasn't a tough interview anymore. Suddenly, it was, "I'm not doing this." Think about that phrase for a second. "I'm not doing this." That's a phrase Morgan has never once extended to any of his guests. Not to Meghan, when tabloids ran cruel, invasive headlines about her mental health. Not to anyone he's grilled on his own programs over the years. When it's Morgan asking the questions, there's no such thing as too personal, too far, or off-limits. But the instant he's on the receiving end, all of a sudden there are boundaries that didn't exist a minute earlier. That's not principle. That's convenience. And that's exactly the pattern that's followed him for years, going all the way back to his infamous walk-off during a discussion about Meghan on his old morning show, when a colleague pushed back on his relentless commentary about her, and he stormed off set entirely rather than defend his own words. Different guest, different year, same reflex. Push everyone else as hard as possible, then bolt the moment the pressure reverses. Here's where we have to zoom out, because if you only look at this as one bad TV moment, you're missing the bigger picture. This is about a pattern of behaviour from a specific type of media figure, the kind who has made a career out of being the loudest voice in the room, while never once being willing to sit in the hot seat themselves. Ask the questions, never answer them. Dig through everyone else's life, then act offended when someone glances at yours. For years, that's exactly the dynamic Meghan Sussex has been trapped in. Non-stop scrutiny, headline after headline, opinion column after opinion column. Her tone was too much, her smile wasn't genuine enough, her charity work wasn't sincere enough. Always something, always relentless, always without a single ounce of self-awareness from the people dishing it out. And when people like Meghan or Harry have tried to explain how damaging that constant invasive coverage actually is, they've been mocked for it, called too sensitive, told to toughen up, accused of playing victim. So really sit with the irony here. The same man who told an entire couple to stop complaining about invasive media coverage couldn't handle 15 minutes of pointed questions before deciding the conversation was over. If it's too sensitive when Meghan says the coverage hurt her, what exactly do we call it when Piers Morgan can't finish an interview? You don't need to be a media analyst to clock what happened here. Regular people watching at home recognize this instantly because we all know this type. We all know the person who talks the loudest in the room, who interrupts everybody, who has an opinion on absolutely everything, until the conversation turns toward them. Then, suddenly, they're the victim. Suddenly, it's disrespectful. Suddenly, the conversation has gone too far, even though they were the ones setting the tone the entire time. That's exactly what unfolded here. Sullivan didn't ambush him. Sullivan didn't lie. Sullivan asked questions using the same energy Morgan has used against guests, including Meghan, including Harry, for years. The only difference is that this time, the person usually asking the questions had to sit in the chair being asked. And the audience response tells you everything. People weren't outraged. People were laughing, not because the moment was funny in a cruel way, but because it was so predictable. Same script, different scene, push, 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 and the second it's pushed back, gone. Let's be really clear about something, because this is the heart of it. Accountability isn't optional just because you don't like the direction the conversation is going. If you're going to spend years building a platform around aggressive, invasive questioning about people's marriages, about their choices, about their families, you don't get to redefine the rules the moment someone applies that same standard to you. That's not how accountability works for anyone else in the real world, and it shouldn't work that way for media personalities either. This is exactly why squaddies have been saying for years that so much of the criticism aimed at Harry and Meghan was never really about facts. It was about control, controlling the narrative, controlling who gets to ask the hard questions, and controlling who's allowed to push back. And the moment that control slips even slightly, you see the mask come off. That's not journalism, that's performance. And audiences are getting tired of the performance. Here's why this moment actually matters beyond a single viral clip. It's part of a much bigger shift happening right now. People are done accepting one-sided media treatment as normal. For years, certain commentators have operated with total impunity, saying whatever they wanted about public figures like Meghan and Harry with zero expectation of pushback. But audiences are catching on. Clips like this spread instantly precisely because people recognize the hypocrisy the second they see it. And once people start recognizing a pattern, it's very hard to unsee it. Every time someone like Piers Morgan gets handed a taste of the same scrutiny he's dished out for years and can't handle it, it chips away a little more at the credibility he's built his career on. Because credibility isn't something you can demand. It's something you have to earn consistently on both sides of the microphone. And if you can't handle the heat of your own questions being turned back on you, maybe it's time to stop lighting fires under everyone else. So that's where we're at. Another moment that was supposed to be about someone else completely backfiring, and once again showing exactly the kind of double standard this channel has been calling out from day one. If this video hit different for you, if you're as tired of the hypocrisy as we are, make sure you're subscribed, because we've got a lot more of this coming. Drop your take in the comments. Did Piers Morgan have this coming, or are we being too harsh? Let us know. Until next time, squaddies, keep the receipts close. Keep supporting Harry and Meghan, and we'll see you in the next one.